So if you're making a board in design files, it's really simple to actually remove the background. So I'm just going to go over here to my library and click upload. And I'm actually going to drag those images that I've been using over onto my board. So let's start with this one. And let's add the others as well. So, if these were going to be actual products I'm actually specifying, we would want to make sure we input all of these different kind of information, because that's how design files works. It helps you kind of stay organized by having embedded information for the actual design information. So I'm just going to leave it as is for right now. So I'm going to drag our images onto our board. Make this one a little bit smaller. And yeah, I think that's fine. And let's start with this one. So to remove the background, all we need to do is select it and click on this. And they have an automatic removal as well as a manual removal. So the automatic one, if I just kind of play around with here, I can see this preview. It's actually worked pretty well. We're getting a little bit of the roughness, just like we would in PowerPoint or Keynote, but you know, it actually has done a pretty good job of removing that background effectively, which if you're using it as a really small image on the board, that's not that big of a deal. Now, if we go on to this image, I'm going to guess, as it has always been, this is going to be the one that's not really working very well to remove the background. So if we wanted to do the manual background removal, what we need to do is click up here, and essentially you just click and trace, although trace a little bit better than I am, around your image. Click every time you want to have a point, and I would suggest for a client presentation to spend quite a bit of time on this and not necessarily do it as fast and haphazardly as I am, but we can see with some clicks we're able to remove that background. Now we also want to remove what's going on inside, so we just need to trace those shapes as well. And save. And so there we can see, you know, this one's done a pretty good job as well of removing that background. It wasn't automatic, it did take some time, but it's fairly crisp, and if I'd spent a little bit more time tracing it perfectly, it would have probably been even a little bit more precise. So lastly, let's click on this one, background removal. And here again, we're having the issue of these grays are just too similar, and it's just going to be a problem when the background and the object itself have similar colors, because color is how a lot of these programs are determining how to remove the background. So this would be another one we want to manually remove. And again, it's just going to be a matter of clicking through and tracing And save. And so with that, we've actually removed the background fairly quickly on all three of these images, but just as with some of the other programs, the one that worked best in terms of doing it automatically was that image that had that high contrast background. And so that's how you would remove the background if you're using design files to make your boards.